hustlers, my playmakers, my G's. What's up, man? Welcome back. It's your man's, the 50 Shades of Black, aka Ricoxmafioso, aka Mr. Get It Fucking Done. By the thumbnail, by the title, you already know. Let's get into this fucking thing, man. First things first, I don't condone any drug use, okay? I feel like we're in a time and place right now where people are already losing their fucking sanity. So half of y'all fucking brains are already rotting and shit. Y'all don't even have the attention span of a fucking goldfish, meaning y'all can't even focus. So for those who already know themselves and know that they're already going down the fucking drain, stay away from them fucking drugs. Now that I got that disclaimer out the way, let's jump in. I ain't perfect, okay? But I am worth it, and I think that all y'all motherfuckers out there are only one learning curve away from being a greater, a better version of yourself. So, hey, let's share this shit. I don't even know who's gonna watch this video, but hey, if my boy sees this, he's probably gonna laugh because you're going to be included in this fucking story. Um, Hopefully he doesn't see this, cause this shit was like what, like 10 years ago. Actually, no, that's a lie. That's a lie. That was like 8 years ago. Okay. 8 years ago when your boy tried magic mushrooms, okay? This story that I'm gonna drop on y'all, it's not like the first time I've ever done mushrooms. It's probably like the second or the third time I've done magic psychedelic mushrooms, okay? And let me just tell you, your boy ain't no punk, ain't no novice amateur to this shit. Yo, your boy's been in the game, been in the streets, all around all types of stimulants for a fucking long time. So again, before we dive into this, ladies and gents, please, this is a fucking story. Don't go out and do exactly what I'm telling you about because you might end up in a hospital and I will not be liable for that shit. Of course, your boy is currently at work. It is 3 in the morning. The grind don't stop, baby. So let's get into this shit. Hey, yo, so this story was going down when I was in the streets, when I was gangbanging. You know, I was part of the Lebanese mafia when I was a kid, and I had to deal drugs, and I had to do a bunch of fucking crimes, part of a street gang. And for those who understand street life, street gangs, and things of that nature, you understand that, it's not necessarily, um, the hotspot where you want to be, but it is the place you go when you want to make money under the table and where all the illicit activities happen. Because once you are in the streets, you don't snitch. And if you do snitch, you a bitch. And that's why I'm saying right here that this story right here, please, I repeat for the third fucking time. Yo, my jits, my brothers, my aunties, whoever's listening to this shit, please don't do what I did or what we did, okay? All right, let's jump to this shit. So, your boy was gang banging. I was finishing initiation, and we finished initiation, which is gonna be for another story. So now we're like a bunch of brothers. You know what I mean? We're like three, four brothers after being initiated into the fucking gang, and we're just chilling. We're getting to know each other. We're starting to build trust and a companionship. That we want to be able to be linked up in case anything happens along the down the road. You know what I mean? So this is me living at my first place by myself. And like I said, it was like what? Like 8 years ago, excuse me, 8 years ago, because it was the first time I literally had my own place to myself. And I was 21 years old. It's crazy. I was fucking 21 fucking years old. I invited these motherfuckers over. I'm a big Kush smoker, was a big Kush smoker. So I invited my boys over for a session. And all of a sudden, I got two of my friends. One, I'm not going to name him. Let's just call him Serbia. And I got my other friend. Let's call him Korea because he's Korean and one is Serbian, okay? I invite both of these motherfuckers over. And we're just chilling, playing UFC and, kicking in and all that good shit. And all of a sudden, Serbia goes, yo, bro, we should do some fucking magic mushrooms. And I was like, you know what, whatever. It's not the first time I've done it. I've done it plenty of times and I've never had a bad trip. So, yo, Serbia, call up the plug, call up the homies, Tell them to bring that zip down here, and by zip, it is 28 grams, which is a full Ziploc bag for those who don't understand that lingo. Tell them to bring 28 G's over here for us three. For those motherfuckers who actually know what's about to go down, saying 28 grams between three motherfuckers, you already know where the story is fucking about to go. Shit's about to get fucking crazy, okay? So the plug pulls up, he's a homie of a homie, so he kicks it too. So we start, hanging out, smoking up, and all of a sudden we breaking down the mushrooms, okay? These are golden caps for those who are connoisseurs of this shit. These are golden cap mushrooms from British Columbia, okay? So the plug himself decides that, you know what, I ain't gonna take anything. I gotta go keep on doing my street work. So probably like an hour after like us smoking up, rolling a J or whatever, he's like, all right, I gotta dip, guys. But here, so he gives us the 28 grams. We're just sitting there, actually in my room. We're playing UFC at that time, and then we break that shit up. Okay, so imagine 28 grams between three motherfuckers. I'll tell you the truth, we couldn't finish the bag. I had to keep some for another occasion because all right. I opened the bag. I ended up taking about like 7 grams, 8 grams of fucking mushrooms. Okay. My boy Serbia took about 3 grams of mushroom. My boy Korea took about 7 grams of mushroom. So me and Korea, we were like blitzed. Serbia, he was blitzed too, but he was, under that dose, a smaller dose, so he couldn't, well, drugs to each their own. So hopefully that didn't fuck him up too much because he was actually a small person. Serbia was like what, maybe 5 foot 5'7", 5'8" at most, and a pretty slim guy. He was a soccer player, so that shit probably hit him like a fucking brick. Me, being 6 foot, 200 pounds, that shit slowly crept up on me and smacked me like a brick too, because it was quite the fucking quantity that we took. And plus, I'm used to this shit. I've taken some prior to. So in the past, as a youth, it's not my first rodeo. But for my homeboy Korea, took 7 grams too, which was his first rodeo. Damn. And this is why y'all need to know who the fuck y'all dealing with, okay? At all times, sober or not sober. But if you're doing drugs, make sure you know who the fuck you are dealing with around you, okay? I knew Korea, I knew Serbia, but I didn't know Korea like that. I knew Korea, but I didn't know him like that. We were homies, but now, we just met. Serbia, I knew him, but I knew him a little bit more than Korea. So I had more affiliation and trust, towards Serbia, because he's a brother. You know what I mean? We've seen each other before. Korea, he's new. But we just kicking it, playing UFC, and all of a sudden I'm like, yo, damn, it's just creeping up on me. Like, I'm playing UFC, I'm playing as John Jones, turning around doing double fisted shit, and all of a sudden, the TV starts like glowing, literally glowing, and I'm like, damn, this is late. Like, what's going on? I look to the right, and I see Korea, my homeboy Korea, playing UFC like his life depended on it. I look to the left, and I see Serbia. And funny thing about Serbia, he's in a blanket. He's in my blanket, okay, chilling while me and Korea are playing. He's in my blanket, like getting lost in my blanket slowly, and like just literally just lying down and shit. I don't know what happened to my boy, but shit's about to get real interesting. So we finished playing the UFC game. I'm like, yo, man, I gotta go take a dump. Like I gotta take a piss or something. My bowels are turning. Because for those who don't know what magic mushrooms are, and for those who do, you already know, these are fucking poisonous. That's the reason why you trip. You trip because these things make you trip, give you that stimulant you need. But the way that it gets triggered to give you the stimulant is through the rotting process that mushrooms and fungi go through. Okay, so already I'm eating a fungus, a mushroom, and this shit's bubbling in my stomach. I ate some shit prior to it. By the way, this shit tastes like shit. So you're gonna have to eat it with something else. Just a heads up. So I ate that shit with chocolate. So my stomach was fucking bubbling, guys. That shit was bubbling up like a motherfucker. So I told Korea, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna go to the washroom. I'll be back, okay? I walk up the stairs. I go to my washroom, and all of a sudden I sit down and take a dump. Y'all, I remember like it was yesterday. I sat down to take this fucking dump, okay? All of a sudden, I got lost. You asking, how the fuck did you get lost taking the dump? Brother, I don't know. Yo, I had a wall art in my washroom hanging up, okay? And I remember just looking at it at one point, and I was trying to take a fucking dump, but I couldn't. I just got lost in the painting. I was just looking at it, looking at it, and all of a sudden I zoned out from that, and I looked towards my feet on the ground, and boom, I got lost looking at the patterns that were like literally coming to life as I was taking a fucking shit, which is fucking weird, man. Like, yo, this is one of the like embarrassing stories I'm like sharing with y'all, but like, like I always say, iron sharpens iron. So for me, this shit ain't shit, and it's literally builds you up to become a better version of yourself. And I would never exchange my past for anything because it made me who I am today. But anyways, as I'm tripping, taking a fucking shit, looking down at these patterns and shit, you know what I mean? I finally end up taking a dump. I finally end up taking a dump. So, as I take a dump, that was the best alleviation I've ever had in my life. No homo, pause, whatever. That was the most phenomenal shit I've ever had. Ever. I swear to God, man. Forever. So I do my thing, get up, and all of a sudden I'm like, all right, it's time to go check up on the boys. And I go back to my room, and I have a pretty massive room. That's where you guys are chilling everywhere. I got like literally like a sofa and all that good shit. I got a dope setup in my room, and homies are smoking shisha and still chilling, right? And I get back to my room. Like I said, I get back to my room. I look at Korea. Korea's literally literally like this, just chilling there. I'm like, oh, cool. Homie's just in his own little world. And I look at Serbia. Serbia is on my bed, covered over his head with a blanket. And all I hear is like someone's talking in the blanket. That shit got me fucked up, so I scream out his name. Yo, Serbia, Serbia, Serbia. Yo, what's poppin'? Yo, Serbia, yo. It took homie like a minute to come out of the blanket. It took a homie, literally, he looked like a worm coming out from the ground, from kilometers under the ground. He was digging to find the light out of that blanket. I was looking at him so astonished. Korea was looking at him so astonished. Korea goes, all right, man, like, we got to do something because we can't just sit here. We've been tripping out for the past 3.5 hours. We're going to keep on We're going to keep on we're going to keep on tripping on this shit for another possible 5 hours because, I'd say a good trip would last, 5 to 12 hours on some good doses. So I propose that we go outside because back in the day, I used to live in Alberta, Calgary, Alberta, which is very, very close to the mountains. So I'm like, all right, let's go outside. It's the evening, you know what I mean? Let's go grab some fresh air. Let's go look at the scenery. Let's just be outside, chill with Mother Nature, vibe out. Wrong idea. Because don't forget, you got three gangbangers, 3 guys who are affiliated, 3 drug dealers. I don't like using that term because I don't want to stick that name onto me. But 3 motherfuckers, you know what I mean? And we're we're fucked up. We're a bunch of hyped up individuals who probably lived traumatic childhood experiences. So take all that into consideration, all right? So we are outside. Me and Tony look at each other. I look at Tony in the eyes and I'm like, yo, what you looking at? And Tony's like, yo, fuck you, man. Like, yo, what are you looking at? I'm like, yo, fuck you too. You want to fight? And me and Tony start fighting and sparring, throwing fucking, we start throwing hooks at each other, grabbing each other, throwing each other on the fucking ground, wrestling and shit, until one of us taps out. And all of a sudden, Tony starts bleeding from his nose. And he goes, yo, fuck you, man. And he starts to get really, really pissed off at me. He says, fuck you, man. Like, yo, I'm bleeding from my nose, bro. I can't stop bleeding and shit. He turns around, pissed off that I, like, smacked him in the face by accident while we were fucking fucked up on the ground, looking at the mountains, you know, doing our thing. He gets so cheesed, okay? He turns around, walks to my neighbor's car, punches the fucking window, smashes everything, and there's glass up in his fucking hand. This motherfucker's pissing blood, and all of a sudden he's there laughing maniacally. Yo! That's when I knew, alright, yo, this motherfucker, Korea, there's something going on in Korea's head, mind, trip, spirit, whatever, that ain't right. Motherfucker needs help. And the thing about mushrooms is the trip comes in waves. I couldn't explain to you why it does comes in waves, maybe because of the way it gets digested and released throughout your system, but it waves. Like, you will be tripping and all of a sudden you'll be sober. Like, you would think you're sober, you're acting normal, like, what the fuck, I'm back to normal. All of a sudden you're tripping again, oh shit. So what I like I was saying, homie smashes the fucking window, starts bleeding, pissing blood from his wrist and from his fist, from his wrist, everything. Me and Serbia, we look at each other like, what the fuck? I tell Korea, I'm like, yo, come here right now, bro. Get your ass here because the police are gonna show up, okay? And when the police show up, we gonna have to explain this shit, all right? And I don't want you here because you too fucked up. And, you know, or we already strike one, you know, not the nicest motherfuckers. Already strike two, not doing the nicest things. And strike three, we are under the, you know, the influence of illegal substances. So Tony, excuse me, I just snitched the name. Korea, give me your fucking phone. He gives me his phone. I look at his latest, like his last dial. It's his girlfriend. I'm like, I'm gonna call her. I call her up. I'm like, yo, man, your man's too fucked up. He's doing this, he's doing that. You gotta come pick him up. 30 minutes later, Mamacita pulls up, comes through. She's pissed the fuck off. Like, literally, she's so cheesed. She don't even want to deal with none of us. She comes, grabs Korea by the hand, and drags them along. And I'm like, yo, peace, Korea. And homie's so fucked up. He's just literally like just looking everywhere. And this is when I know, or I felt that, damn, I don't know where homie's life is gonna go after that, but it's definitely ain't gonna be up if you don't deal with that shit, because damn, yo, homie needs therapy. He needs therapy or shit wouldn't work out. So, like I said, I called this girl. Girl comes, drags him out of there. So it's me and Serbia, okay? We go back inside. Me and Serbia start talking and laughing. We're just like, what the fuck just happened? Like, homie is fucked up. And this is when Serbia tells me the honest fucking truth about what happened when I went to the washroom. Alright. So, the moment that he got extremely high, Serbia got extremely high. He put on the blanket. The reason why he put on the blanket is because he didn't want to be so close by to Korea. And the thing is, he knew Korea prior to. And that Korea was someone that he has dealt with in the past as a youth. And he still owed Korea money from them streets. So the whole time Serbia was tripping, he thought Korea was gonna fucking end his life because he owed him money. And he told me that Korea approached him while I was in the washroom about the money that he owed him. So imagine that. You tripping your balls off, man. You have no safe space. You're psychologically just disturbed. You physically can't focus. And all of a sudden you get threatened while you're tripping out by a motherfucker who will literally. By the way, I'm telling you, you don't want to fuck with Korea. Like me and Korea are motherfuckers who, like, we are ballsy motherfuckers back in the day who are willing to do anything and everything to get ahead of the game, right? So Serbia had a reason to be fucking scared. I ain't gonna lie, Serbia had a fucking reason to be fucking scared. So he was telling me he got so fucking scared that at one point he literally went into cocoon and literally went to lie down and to sleep, fall asleep until I came back because he was afraid that Korea was gonna take his life. This is how I know a motherfucker was gone. He was faded. He was out of there. But hey, let's keep it a buck. Things could have went down. I'm happy it did not. But I just found the fucking story just so hilarious. Because if y'all would have only seen when I came back from the washroom how this guy was hiding in my covers and how it took him literally a minute and a half to come out of my covers. Y'all would have laughed your ass off too. But anyways, that's the story. I'm happy that I was able to voice that shit out loud because it's been a long fucking time. I didn't think I would ever fucking say that shit. So to all you motherfucking young jits, enjoy that shit. Hopefully you learned a little lesson from that. Before I let y'all go, don't forget, make sure y'all like, make sure y'all subscribe, leave a fucking comment. And as well, you know, this shit is not rehearsed. There's no editing, there's no cutting. Straight from my cabeza, my mind, my heart, and right to y'all. And as always, I'm here to have this conversation with y'all because, like I say, like I always fucking say, iron sharpens iron. And hopefully this shit entertains y'all, and hopefully you learn something from this. So I'm gonna drop this on Sunday. Much love, y'all, and I'll catch y'all next week. Bless up.